That's a full sales dashboard built entirely in Excel. No formulas, no coding, and by the end of this video, you'll have built it yourself from scratch, step by step. Let's go. Here's the starting point: 438 rows of sales transactions, 1 company, 1 year, 4 regions, 5 categories, 6 salespeople. Your manager is going to ask you 4 questions. We're going to answer all of them and put all the answers on one single page. And that's what a dashboard is. So, let's build it. This is our dashboard sheet. Empty right now, but won't be for long. You might be wondering, what is a pivot table? Well, a pivot table is a summary tool. You point it at your data, tell it what you want to see, and Excel calculates everything instantly. The neat part, no formulas. You just drag fields around until the answer appears in front of you. That's the whole concept. So, let's use it. You can find the practice sheet in the description down below. Now, to start off the right way, we need to turn this into a table. The quickest way would be Ctrl and T. The reason we do that, because in the future, if we wanted to add data at the bottom of the table, it will be included in the table automatically without doing anything. To add a pivot table, go to Insert, Pivot Table, and the first option, which is From Table or Range. And if you don't like using the mouse, you can simply do Alt-N-V-T. It will be the exact same thing. For this one, I will put it on the dashboard so everything we build in the future will stay together. I chose it, and there is our blank pivot table. The field panel on the right lists every column from our data. These are considered the building blocks for our pivot table. At the bottom, you can see that we have 4 sections or options: filters, columns, rows, values. I'll explain each one by using it. Let me show you how it works. You simply drag the column into the desired field. Here we're taking region into rows. As you can see, it spread them over rows. And now let's take the total revenue and put it into values. By default, it gives us the sum of total revenue. 2 clicks and it already gives us those insights, and that's the power of pivot tables. And while we're on the topic, let me show you columns and filters as well real quick. Let's take category here and put it into columns. Columns spreads the data horizontally. So right now we can say the total revenue by category and region. For filters, filters makes a drop-down menu that allows you to filter based on one criteria. Here we're taking the salesperson into filters. If we filter it for one person, we have this option down here that we can choose multiple or just one. Here we're choosing 2, and it gives us this updated information. That's all 4 areas. You'll learn them by watching, not memorizing. This is style number 1, revenue by region. Let's make it actually useful. We can know instantly which one is the highest and which one is the lowest. To do that, just right click on any cell in that column, sort, then largest to smallest. And like that, we know that east is the largest and north is the lowest. Let's add profit to that one. It's important to know both of them at the same time, because revenue is what came in and profit is what stayed. And based on that, you know if your business is doing well or you're just burning money. Right now, the headers, they don't look clean. So let's change them. To do that, it's simple. Just go to values, click on that arrow next to that field, and choose value field settings. To change the name, just change it here directly. This one will just leave it as profit, and we can format it as well from here. So we can do one additional thing. Let's remove the decimals, leave everything as it is. Okay. And let's do it for the other one as well. And this one will make it revenue. And right now, remove the decimals. Okay. And there you go. This is style number 1, complete and finished. And that's the answer for question number 1, which region is leading, and it would be East. Let's build tile number 2. To do that, we need to insert a new pivot table. we would place it on the dashboard sheet as we want everything to be grouped together. Right now, for this one, we want to know how did the revenue look month over month. To do that, just drag down the dates into rows. As you see, it looks a bit weird, but we want only a monthly view. So to do that, just right click on any cell and then group. And after that, make sure that it's only month that is selected. Okay, and as you can see, it's been updated. But you might be wondering, why did we use date and go through all that hassle? Instead, we could have used month, right? The reason behind that, Excel knows that this is a date, so Excel will automatically sort it from January to December. But if we used month, this is text, so Excel will sort it alphabetically, and we don't want that. So let's look on the revenue, just drag it down to values, and as you remember, let's adjust the name and make it revenue. Number formatting, just remove the decimals. And okay. And that's it. This is tile number 2, and this is the second question asked, how did the revenue look month over month? Tile 3, salesperson ranking. Watch how fast this gets done now that you know the pattern. And it's done. So right now, let's drag the salesperson into rows, revenue into values. Let's sort it to check who has the highest and who has the lowest, and we have a quick view. Now let's make the name more appealing. Let's change it here, make it revenue, and format the number, remove the decimals, to unify everything. There you go. But right now we would add units sold. And the reason behind that is that the person with the highest revenue isn't always closing the most deals. The difference between those two numbers tells you the average order size, and that's a management conversation. And just like that, tile 3 is done, and we have the answer to our third question, who is the top salesperson? This is the fourth table. It answers the question regarding what is the best category. I added it off screen as it became more repetitive, and I'm pretty sure that you know how to do it yourself by now. What is a calculated field? It's a custom field that performs mathematical calculations. Let's look on this workbook, for example. We have the data here, we have total revenue, we have total profit. And the difference between both of them is called expense. If we want to get expense, there are a couple ways to do that. One of them is by creating a new column here and subtracting both of them. But using formulas here, if your data gets too large, it will slow down your workbook. The better way, which is the one I prefer when working with pivot tables, is to use something called a calculated field. This is how we do it. To add a calculated field, make sure a cell is highlighted in the pivot table. Go to pivot table, analyze, then choose fields, items, and sets, and you would see an option that says calculated fields. Choose it, and right now we have this in front of us. The first section here, we name our calculated fields, and if we had another calculated field, we can choose it in order to modify it. But right now, let's stick to this one here. We're calculating expense. It's pretty straightforward. We just put the column names. Right now, we just want the total revenue minus total profit. Add. Okay. And there you go. This is the expense, and this is how you add a calculated field. Now the visuals. Charts are what make everything more appealing. But how do we add a chart? In order to do that, just select any cell in the pivot table, go to insert, and then you can see this here. Choose the chart that you want. For the first one, we will choose the first one. For the second one, we will choose a line. And for the third one, we will choose the first one once again. And for the fourth one, we will choose the first one. Now let's modify them a little bit to make them more appealing. These buttons here, I don't like them. To remove them, just right click on one of them and choose hide all field buttons from chart. It will disappear, every single one of them, and already it's looking better. If you wish to keep the same background, keep it as it is. If you wish to change it, you can change it by selecting the chart, go to design, and after that choose the one that you desire from here. Now we want to add a title for our chart and change a few things. In order to do that, just select the chart. You would see these options appear. Click on the first one, which is the plus, and after that you would see this menu. We want to activate the chart title, and there you go. We can edit it if we want to. Now we want to change a few things. We want to add data labels. Now we have it, let's clean it a little bit. We don't need the vertical axis, so let's remove it. We can just simply do that here like that. And for the legend, we want to change the position of it. Let's send it to the bottom, and there you go. This is the final look. Now we connect everything. This is what makes the dashboard not just random charts or pivot tables. In order to do that, we need something called a slicer. To add a slicer, just select a cell in the pivot table, go to pivot table analyze, choose insert slicer, choose region, and hit OK. But right now, if we click it, it would only change one chart. It will not change everything. In order to connect it to all of them, just right click on it, choose report connections, and right now we see all 4 pivot tables. So just click all of them, hit OK, and right now if we click it, it changes. Now we have a fully functioning dashboard. You can choose any slicer, choose any one of them, and it will update on all of them at the same time. Here is where we started, 438 rows of raw data. 4 unanswered questions. Here is where we ended up. A live dashboard, every question answered, one click to switch between regions, categories, salespersons, no formulas, no manual work. What we built today, multiple pivot tables, a link chart, and 2 slicers, all connected, all on one sheet. The dataset is in the description, download it yourself. Building it once is worth more than watching it 10 times. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe as this helps the channel grow.